Hi, and welcome to our next event for our virtual retreat. We are really glad to have one of our own here with us today, sharing some really excellent parenting tools to get through everything. So please welcome Yadira Regla Cuevas.
Hi.
Hi there, Yadira. I'm going to put you on spotlight now, so we should be able to see your smile and everything.
No pressure, right?
No
So,
pressure at all. You know how we roll here, so really no pressure.
so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Give me 1 second.
Perfect.
And of course, we practiced this and now it's not working. Give me 1 second. Okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay. So today I want to talk to you guys about the most important vowel, right? I-E-I-U. You are the most important one. And sometimes as parents, we kind of put ourselves in the back burner and we don't necessarily make ourselves a priority. But today I want to talk to you guys about what the importance is. So just quickly, been a rocking mom since 2015. This is Ezekiel Jeremiah Cuevas. He was born on July 16, 2015. He just turned 5 years old, and he really does keep us all busy all the time. But we love him very much, and you might hear him coming in and out of the door if we're lucky or not. But I've been with DSDN since 2015. I assisted with the Spanish speaking group in 2016, and then I joined the Parent Advisory Committee, the PAC team, for a year. And in 2017, I upgraded to the board team here. I've attended 4 of the Rockin' Mom retreats, Dallas, Chicago, Phoenix, and Nashville. And I'm so bummed that I'm not able to be there with everybody, but this is the best as we can do, and we're going to take advantage of that. So let's talk a little bit about stress. Now, this is a concept that is not new to any mom, especially rockin' moms, right? I see some of you even multitasking. That kind of lends to the picture that's there, right? We're eating, we're taking care of the kids, the phone. We do many things at once. And for many of us, that comes very natural. We do it seamlessly. But for others, it requires a lot of support. It also requires that we need help, right? Um, so stress, what is stress? It's any feeling of emotional or physical tension. This can be through an event that makes us feel frustrated, angry, or nervous. Many of us who have started the IEP process or who have gone through IEPs, we know that before IEPs and the pre-EPs, the whole thing is so frustrating and so stressful. But we also know that stress can come in short bursts, can also be positive. For example, if we're dealing with a deadline, how many of us have procrastinated? I was queen of procrastination when I was in college because I always thought my best work comes when I'm under stress and under pressure, and boom, I can get it done. But now that I'm a little bit older, that doesn't come as easily for me, right? So I have to avoid feeling of that tension and feeling pressured because I'm not necessarily getting the best work done at that time. We also know that positive stress can come in many ways. For example, if we're planning a wedding, that can be very stressful, but we know that there is a positive outcome and something that we're looking forward to. So we can tolerate that stress, right? When we go through childbirth, that can also be a positive or negative depending on our situation, but something we're looking forward to, so we forget almost immediately of that stress that we were under. And some of examples of chronic stress for those moms that maybe or parents that become single parent homes, their level of stress becomes heightened. We have families that are in the military, and during deployment, they can experience long feelings of chronic stress because they're worried about their significant others. They're having to manage their homes. Also, long extended periods of time in the hospital can also be chronic stress. Financial stress, maybe marital problems can also become chronic. And so what happens when we have so much stuff that we all have different thresholds? But what happens when we can no longer put in. We can no longer take anything in. Eventually, we explode or we need to find some form of release. The goal is to try not to get to the point to where you are topped off, where nothing else can come in because we are feeling out of control. For example, um, virtual distance learning, right? I don't know if some of you guys are experiencing that or not. But in California, we are still in shelter in place, which means we're doing virtual learning. So I had to, at that time, not the best mom moment of my life, but during the Zoom meeting, Ezekiel's first day of school, I was so frustrated. I was sick. I hadn't slept. I actually had COVID at that time. So add that additional stress to you, right? Because the entire family was ill and we're trying to get started with virtual learning and then trying to get work settled and have coverage. And then even myself physically was not feeling well. So principal comes on, 30 minutes, she's still talking. I'm like, why do I still have my child here trying to attend to the principal when she's just giving us general information? Anyhow, principal talked for 50 minutes. And so by that time, Ezekiel's kind of checked out. I'm kind of checked out from tugging and, trying to get him sit down. His teacher comes in, 5 minutes in, Ezekiel runs out my purple door right back. So I'm like, I grabbed a chair and I tossed it. And then I was like, oh snaps, I'm in a Zoom full of kindergartners and a teacher on the first day of school. Probably not the best first time impression, right? So I'm mortified. Add that to my stress of like, I'm gonna get CPS called, I'm gonna get, the police sent to my house, something horrible. Thankfully, my daughter, who's so savvy and is 11 years old, she saw the recording and realized that I had turned off my camera and the mic, which thankfully was not recorded there. But still, the pressures of, holy moly, imagine this mom just toss a chair in the Zoom class on the first day of school would probably not make me very popular. So add that to chronic stress. So I had to really take time off and say like, okay, I can't do this. I need help. Someone needs to come and help me. The husband needs to step up. And the bad thing is that when you're quarantined, you really can't let anybody come in your house and nobody's allowed to leave. So we had to do some changes just with my husband, myself, let me sleep tonight or 8 hours straight. You take care of the child and we'll rotate, whatever it was, just to give me some more of that temporary relief. So other side effects of stress. We have the short-term memory loss, right? How many of you guys gone to the fridge and you're like, what was I gonna get? Or where are my keys again? And you just have them. Just yesterday, I was getting the milk and I said I was gonna put it away. Then I was like, where's the milk? Who knows where I put the milk, right? So we get short-term memory loss, sleep deprivation, increased irritability, decrease in tolerance if patient decreases, which probably not a good thing when dealing with little people like ours. Loss of appetite or overeating. In my case, I overeat because food is comforting for me. So I tend to overeat. Fatigue or some somatic symptoms like headaches, stomach aches, neck pain, joint pain, and anger when we become so angry. And then what happens when we lash out? Then we feel remorseful, we feel guilty, and then we feel yucky about ourselves, right? So one of the important things that we need to do is try to manage all these things before they develop into something more severe, before they become more into a mental illness, because we all experience stress. That's just part of who we are. But once it start moving into anxiety, depression, when we start getting into those more difficult, then we might need some more professional help. So how do we avoid getting to these situations? So question for you, how are you doing? Have you ever looked at someone and asked, how do they do it? How can they smile and do everything? What kind of drugs are they on and how can I get some of that good stuff, right? Well, I'm kind of mildly joking on that part, but really, there are some people that you're like, how do they do it? Like, how does this exist? How do they, but here's a secret. And by the way, that's Ezekiel roaring with his goggles upside down because It's 2020. Why not, right? So here we go. But before we move on, here's a real question that many of us have asked over and over. How does the Jen Jacob do it, right? And I've actually asked her multiple times. So perhaps by the end of the this little webinar, I may tell you guys some of those secrets, or she may log on and say some of those things that keep her almost unhuman like, right? Sorry, Jen, I had to. I just had to.
Dying laughing. I love that picture.
So easy stuff. Self-care, right? There are 4 types of self-care, and I won't go into deep in all of them, but there is a physical, the emotional, social, and spiritual. And we really need to, it's a balancing act. Like if we need any additional things in our lives, right? But it really isn't a balancing act. We need to make sure that all 4 categories are um, fulfilled, or at least that they're helping us out. For example, social. Social right now for many of us is really depleted because many of us are still in shelter in place, right? So that component is very difficult to fulfill. But this is one amazing way, the virtual retreat that could fill that spot. Um, Physical, I'm horrible at this one, but I started recently walking and swimming. So hopefully that'll help with my energy level and manage that stress level, right? Self-care. Self-care does not mean or does not make you a bad mom. I've been told many times, oh, I can't believe you're leaving Ezekiel again. Oh, wow, you don't feel bad for leaving him behind? And when they make comments like this, they make it seem like I leave him every weekend or something. The fact is, I only go to the Rocky Mountain retreats once a year and to the National Down Syndrome Convention. That's 2 times a year. But they make that mom guilt. They just make you feel like, wait, am I really a bad mom for leaving and going away? But really, if any of you guys have gone to one of those retreats, when we come back, yes, we're physically tired because we probably stayed up late and, took advantage of our time. But emotionally, we're better people. We're excited. I feel rejuvenated. I'm actually a better mom, a wife, a sister, and I'm a better therapist at work. I can actually listen to people and be okay with it. So I don't necessarily think that self-care makes you selfish or makes you less caring of your child. I think it's part of what makes you a good mom is that you yourself are balanced and you're able to provide for them. And I think that's a misconception that moms need to um, get that out because there's no room for that. Get rid of that mom guilt. We all need to um, be able to practice self-care. So here are some easy strategies that to manage a rockin' life, right? So I put some pictures of some awesome people that I've come in contact with. Margaritas, 1 or 2 never hurt anybody, right? But if we're downing pictures, yeah, it might not be a positive coping skill after a while. Or the next morning, you might be like, yeah, that wasn't really a good positive coping skill. But let's just face it, anything in excess can be a negative thing, right? But if we do everything with moderation, these would be some great, easy strategies. So take a long bath, warm bath, paint, painting. My family has taken on to virtual paint parties, and every Friday we do one, and even Ezekiel participates, and he loves it. We have a jacuzzi and fire pit outside. We use that as much as we can. Right now it's 122 degrees, so no fire pit, but hey, we still use the pool and still go outside. Um, and hugging and laughing and being humorous. These are all things that help us stay and feel connected. Um, and my 15-16 group, at first we were all having some withdrawals from not being able to see each other. And so we planned a little virtual Zoom happy hour. For some of them, it was 10 o'clock at night. For me, it was only, 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock, but we made it work. Those of us that can have a connection with our communities and have other local moms to meet up with, great. Have that connection as well. Some other ones, Here's meditation. Those that like can be in tune with nature. Go sit outside of a tree if it weather permits. Um, Listen to music. Sometimes just sitting in my car, taking deep breaths helps. Or I put on a song and I crank it up and I just sit there and I just let myself be. Other times I take a warm shower and I just cry. That is my time to just cleanse myself spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And afterwards, I feel so much better. Excuse me. And nobody hears me cry, right? Because the shower is on. And then I feel so much relieved. I've actually also taken a drive and I just park around the block and then I cry there in my car too if I need to, because crying can be a great cleansing tool. Um, Calling a friend. It's hard sometimes because if you're not in a good space, who can you call? I have a friend who only calls me and she'll tell me, today I don't need a funny friend. I just need you to listen. I'm like, oh, okay. And then there'll be times where she'll call me and says, friend, today I just need you to make me laugh. So think about the most dumbest things and talk to me. Go now. And I'm like, okay. And so then I try to make her feel good. I think if we can have those type of friends, it'll help us in those different types of moments. Um, I'm all about humor. So watching a funny movie, going to a comedy show, those of us that can have respite, I'm not sure if that's available in all the states, but I know here in Southern California, we have respite and they come to my house for 24 hours a month. And that has really saved our marriage because at least for that time, my husband and I can go out for dinner. We can go watch a comedy show. We can actually just go have dinner and talk without having to talk about, you know, the schedules and how we didn't remember a certain thing. And, it helps us remember why we're married. So that has really helped us the last 2 years as um, a relationship, but plus also with Esme, my daughter, because we can go get our pedicures done during that time. And we don't feel guilty that Ezekiel's not with us because he's having fun. He's being taken care of. And when his worker comes, they're doing great, artwork and he's having fun. So it removes that pressure of, oh, we didn't bring brother with us, or we didn't bring the kids. It's like, no, that is our time. um, Going to a body of water, sometimes just hearing waves is so relaxing. Those of us that might not have a body of water nearby, we can just put on an app or go to YouTube and they have tons of videos of just relaxation music that you can listen to. I have a friend who says like that stuff doesn't work. That just makes me want to go crazy. That's great. There's other things you can do. Not everything here will work for you. Try them out. If it doesn't feel right, if it didn't do anything, then move it along. Try something else. There's no right or wrong way of doing self-care. Also note that you're not alone. When do we need to seek out professional support? The therapist in me always needs to put this part in there. When you are feeling that you're having thoughts of hurting yourself or hurting others, um, when you're experiencing difficulty getting out of bed, maybe showering, loss of interest in things, when the symptoms impact your daily living activities and responsibilities, maybe you're no longer going to work, maybe um, you're not fulfilling taking the kids to school or things like that. Or when you start experiencing hallucinations or you feel out of touch in reality, those are times without, or if a friend is coming to you saying, hey, these are the things that are going on, know that they're not alone as well. We may need to refer them out. And there is nothing wrong with that. This pandemic has made it so difficult on people, and people that would never imagine themselves being in a situation where they would need professional help are seeking professional help. And with telehealth, you can get services and get a therapist almost anywhere, right? And I know it is hard talking to someone that you've never met through telehealth, but you know, this is a lot better than keeping everything inside and not being the best you. So I put this number on here. It's the 1-800-273-8255. That's a national number and it's 24 hours a day. Um, and it's available to everyone. It's free. You can contact them, talk to someone, or if you are worried about a mom that maybe that you saw posts and you're worried about them, sometimes what I do is I'll reach out to them individually and be like, hey, how's everything going? When we're feeling stressed and overwhelmed and alone, sometimes the smallest gestures can help us, showing us that someone cares. So if someone you notice on one of our groups is maybe struggling with something, reach out to them, let them know that you're there. And if you're not someone that can help out, maybe just provide them the resource so that they can get support. Okay. Um, and we go back to, in order to be a great wife, a mother, a friend, a daughter, etc., you have to take care of you. We have to be our best selves all the time for those little people that are looking at us for support. And then here's some more of my awesome peoples that I miss so much. Hopefully next year we will be all together and we'll be able to hug each other and laugh and, have a couple margaritas or pictures, endless possibilities. But anyhow, I know I talk really fast, but if you guys have any questions or you guys need me to repeat anything, just feel free to let me know.
I know a couple of questions came up. They asked if we could maybe have access to the PowerPoint, maybe to put alongside with, and the PowerPoint will also be showing on the video when we do it as well. So you will be able to see all those things. I know I took a few pictures of a few of them too that I thought will be really helpful. So
Great. I can even add the PDFs in case they want to print them out and maybe pin in the fridge or, keep in a binder somewhere, just because it's always good to have something to reference to go back to.
that would be wonderful. And I
Yeah,
think this was great and a great reminder, if nothing else. I know that photo made me giggle, and the Jen Jacobs, sure. But I mean, personally that I've not been, toeing the line that great this time. We've had so many conversations with people in the last few days, especially around retreat time, knowing that a lot of us look forward to that one break essentially throughout the year, and just how that all kind of went down this year. And just a lot of us that I generally feel like I do cope pretty well with things, but I can just tell, all the stresses of everything and changing to homeschooling Owen this year and just watching how all this is impacting my kids 6 months in, it's just been a really, really hard time. And I know myself, and I know myself enough to just know that I'm not myself right now. And so talking to people and just kind of, I'm more of, and I know everybody does this differently, I'm more of a go into myself and not talk to other people when I'm going through my yuck, because I don't want to be like a burden to other people, or, whatever that looks like. So I have some great people in my life that they know once I go a little quieter on things, that probably that's when the stuff is going down. I'm totally a shower crier. I kind of giggled when you said that, because I 100%, that's like, because it's my space and my time where I don't have to feel like I'm worrying other people, but I just need that release and whatnot. I have totally gotten into journaling again. For me, writing out my thinking and thoughts has really helped, and just to kind of recenter things. So I just love all these strategies, and know that we all kind of ebb and flow through how much of it we need and how much support. And my next thing is I'm going to try to just do more exercise. We'll see
I
if
can try.
that happens. Yeah, we'll see. Because I was probably falling into a lot of the same things that some of us do. A couple glasses of wine at night, that'll help me unwind and relax. But I don't really always love that feeling either. So, and all the eating of feelings, like fall is my favorite time. So I'm looking forward to all the sweaters and all the caramel based things that I can put into my body. But that, I know, is just making me feel extra junky too. So I just loved all of this, thinking about all those intentional things I can do to kind of give myself my best chance to manage through.
Yep,
I love it. I love
great.
it.
Thank you.
And we, I don't see any questions on the chat, but you will put Yadira's contact info too on this. Well, maybe not. We'll have to check with you, Yadira, if you want a
Feel free.
1,000 messages. We
No,
appreciate you so much. This was wonderful. We love having you as part of our team. And, you're one of those people that my life did change when I met you several years ago. And I miss your little face a lot this year too. And
oh,
all
my face is not so little lately, but I do miss your face.
join the club. I think we're all correlated on that. Like we're all growing in the same rate, but it's wonderful and can't wait to see your faces again in real life, ladies. Thanks for joining us for this today. I hope you got some out of it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. How did it go? Do you feel, oh,
Yay, I'm
thumbs
excited.
up all around? Good. I think it was perfect. The perfect mix, Yadira, of just giving us a little bit of reminders and taking some time. So love it.
Great. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Stay safe.
Yes, you guys too. We'll talk to you all soon. Thanks, ladies.
Bye.
Thanks, Yadira. Bye.